You're watching Entrepreneurs in the Garage. I'm Kelly Keane. Joining me today is Jason from Vivere, sharing his vision about relaxing the world. So Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about Vivere and how you got started?
Vivere is a wholesale outdoor living company. Its origins were in hammocks, and we've expanded into outdoor living furniture. It started in 2002. I was down in Mexico and on a beach with some friends, and a guy came up to me and sold me a hammock. The idea of making these hammocks available to Canadians was just something that I thought I could make happen. And then in 2004, February, I sent $60,000 to Brazil, crossed my fingers and prayed, and 5,000 hammocks came back. And I didn't have a place for them, so we were renting a house in downtown Guelph, took the 5,000 hammocks and stored them in bedrooms.
And how did you make your first sales?
I thought, who am I going to sell these to? There's no one that really just carries hammocks, and so I thought home hardware would be a good choice. And so I was going and driving to all these different home hardwares, and I went down to 4 days a week, and I was able to sell hammocks on Fridays.
So when did you make that leap to full-on entrepreneurship?
I decided to do that in 2009, was to take that leap and to decide to do this full-time.
What was the biggest risk that you've taken?
Probably leaving the steady cash flow of my day job, but also sending $60,000 down to Brazil when I was just finished as a student. I had student debt, and using lines of credit to drum up those funds. Many people said I was crazy to do it, but I just trusted and believed and had the faith to do that.
So you were knocking on doors of home hardware and you've gone international. How did you make that leap?
I guess being very persistent, and once I was full-time in the business, that's when I was able to plant seeds and it really took off. And slowly just picking up more customers, but also expanding the line. So it wasn't just these Brazilian hammocks. We were adding to the line and hearing from our customers. They would say, can you source this? And it was absolutely, we can source this hammock. And growing the line, selling more to existing customers and finding new customers.
And every entrepreneur has to deal with rejection and failure. What advice would you give to those just starting out?
Surround yourself with positive people and encouragers. But as the business was going, we could celebrate success. And eventually there were more successes than failures. And so the success just trumped feeling bad or being on an emotional low. We continued to persevere, and that really paid off.
And what kind of support did you have that really took Vivere to the next level?
You know, the support that was needed is we're such a seasonal business. So there's always that financing support. And RBC has just been there as a partner with us. They've been able to bring in the EDC as a strategic partner and just help us fund the business, fund the inventory purchases so we can have it for the season.
So Jason, tell me about where you are now compared to the old days.
Going in 2004 from zero, we've grown, essentially doubled every year. And it's been a roller coaster, always feeling like we're behind. But we're a $20 million company now, and we don't think it's going to stop. We're going to continue to grow.
Jason, you've been so inspirational. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
You've been watching Entrepreneurs in the Garage. I'm Kelly Keane. Until next time.